Good morning. It is day 4, day 4 of the prosperity plan. Not me losing track of the days already. That does tend to happen. It is day 4. Okay, so let's get into it. The statement for today. Through my consciousness of my God self, the Christ within as my source, I draw into my mind and feeling nature the very substance of spirit. This substance is my supply. Thus, my consciousness of the presence of God within me is my supply. Through my consciousness of my God self, the Christ within as my source, I draw into my mind and feeling nature the very substance of spirit. This substance is my supply. Thus, my consciousness of the presence of God within me is my supply. I've been watching this show on Gaia. Gregg Braden, hope I said his name right. It's called The Missing Link. And in the last episode that I just watched, he was decoding our DNA. And if you don't know, and I'm no expert at this, but throughout my life, I was taught about our DNA strands, and my father actually taught me when I was younger. It's funny how I start remembering these things as I learn more. He would always tell us that our DNA was yes, it was code, but it wasn't just code in terms of your chromosomes. It was code in terms of the God self. And I didn't necessarily understand it. And I'm going to tell you how this ties into statement 4. But so Gregg Braden is a scientist. He's a geologist, and he's also studying, the origins of man and woman. And apparently, from what he has studied through the periodic table of elements, along with ancient Hebrew teachings, and what he knows of the human body, if you were to juxtapose the letters from the periodic chart of the elements onto DNA, the first sentence in the strand of DNA apparently reads, according to him, God eternal within the body. So we learned this and I'll tie this back in to statement 4, I promise you. So when I was studying Wicca, witchcraft, we learned that each letter had a number. A through Z corresponded with the numbers 1 through 9. And from that, you could actually write spells, and other ancient languages as well. You could write spells using the combination of the letters and the numbers. So he did the same thing with the DNA, which is also can be broken down scientifically. And that's the first sentence of our strand of DNA, apparently, is God eternal within the body. Hearing that was not particularly shocking to me, but it does go along with statement 4 and brings new meaning to it for me this time around. Through my consciousness of my God self, the Christ within as my source, I draw into my mind and feeling nature the very substance of spirit. This substance is my supply. Thus, my consciousness of the presence of God within me is my supply. So what if that's true? What if our strands of DNA are actually a God code, a code from source energy? Would that change how you're beginning to view this process? The Christ within you? Would that begin to shift how you saw the technology of your mind, of what's possible, of what you can create? to know that that source is your supply? Could you begin to see yourself as almost this walking battery, this walking magnet, this walking antenna, fueled by a source that is infinite in its abundant nature? I like that, actually, for myself. Can you see yourself as that? A walking battery or magnet or antenna fueled by a source that is infinite in its abundant nature? And how does that then change the perspective on what you see as your life? Because when we think of our life, we think of this finite thing, and then there's this, I gotta get all these things done. I gotta make this much money. I gotta take care of all these things before my life ends. But what if, instead of you thinking about trying to squeeze things in because your life would end, what if you understood that you never end, that it is only your existence on this third rock from the sun that moves on? And really, it moves on. Like, you're literally stopping through here. I think I said this last year. This is a really long rest stop. This is a really long layover. This human existence. You're traveling through, and it's like, hey, I'm here. Layover is 5 hours. Time means nothing in the universe. My layover is it's 90 to 100 years. Let me put my bags down over here. Let me check out this store. Let me see what food they have available. Let me tour the town and see what's going on. Does it take the stress off of you a little bit to know that you're kind of just, that you're passing through? That you are not what you see. You are more than that. That you are a God code living in a human body. And if you could see it that way, what now? How now does your life look like in terms of abundance? What could you possibly create while you're here? Because this opportunity that we've been given to dance about on planet Earth isn't about accumulation. It isn't about being stressed. It's about learning how to utilize those emotions to create. It's about experiencing those emotions, but not staying stuck in them. Yeah, I noticed that when I'm feeling good and I meditate and I'm on track and things are flowing, my mind, like my mind, human mind, ego self, will start to want to come up with all manner of story. Like it's bored. It's bored. And I'm just like, I'm cruising, it doesn't matter what's going on. I'm in my flow, like as Abraham Hicks would say, like I'm in my zone. And I'm like, yes. And my bored mind will come up with the most random, I will have whole scenario conversations that I don't even notice until I feel my body. I can feel the adrenaline in my body, and I can feel my heart start beating because I'm having these anxious conversations with people, a family member, a friend, somebody from work. I start playing out these worst case, conversations and the things I would say and all these scenarios because my mind is bored and I'm still smiling, but my mind is running. And then it's like 3 minutes in and I'm like, whoa, hey, my whole body is now in fight or flight mode. I haven't even done anything, but my body's now ready. This work requires, and I couldn't think of another word as I was thinking about this morning. This work requires vigilance. This work requires a constant coming back to source energy, coming back to your own infinite abundance, coming back to. You will get in meditation, step outside the door, and it's out the window. And if you're not meditating during this process, it's a mandatory thing. It really is. I mean, I'm not going to come asking you about it, but it's really important, because the world will do its best to program you to not see yourself as the walking embodiment of infinite abundance. The systems that exist cannot exist in their current state if you believe that you are walking source energy. You might not want to buy all the shit that's marketed if you believe that. Companies will really lose revenue. You might not want to toil at a job that you don't like if you believe that. The world outside isn't designed for you to hold this space. You have to hold this space for you, and then be in community with others so that you stay in the space of understanding that you are a walking, and I will keep saying this. One of the reasons why I will keep repeating myself and saying this is so that over the 40 days, it sticks in your body, in your mind, in your heart, over and over again, that you are the walking embodiment of source energy. I'll read the statement again. Through your consciousness of your God self, the Christ within. Let me be clear, Christ is a title. Not just his name was Yeshua. Christ is a title. Through your consciousness of your God self, the Christ within as your source, you draw into your mind and feeling nature the very substance of spirit. This substance is your supply. Thus, your consciousness of the presence of God within you is your supply. Now that you are aware of this God self within you as your source, you draw into your mind and feeling nature the very substance of spirit, and this substance is your supply. This presence of source energy within you is your supply, and it is infinitely abundant. It has no end. It can supply anything that you can think of. See yourself today as you walk through the world as a walking magnet. You do have an electromagnetic field around you. Your heart has an electromagnetic field around it that stretches out feet in front of you. You are a magnet. See yourself as a walking magnet. What is it that you are attracting to you? And in order to attract it to you, you have to put out the signal first. What signals are you choosing to put out today? That's it for day 4. I will be back tomorrow with day 5. My DMs are open if you have any questions. I will be on Clubhouse this evening at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to have some discussion around this, if you have some questions, if there's anything else, these are my open office hours. If you like some coaching around this, I will be in Clubhouse this evening at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. I love you all. Have a wonderful day.